The Candy Ghost of Evergreen Hill by Dan. The moon was full, hanging high in the night sky like a ghostly eye watching over the forest's edge. A firm breeze rustled the leaves, and an unsettling chill crept through the air, carrying the promise of a Halloween night filled with chills and thrills. This was the night Dan, Travis, Dustin, and Laura had decided to uncover the truths behind the old rumors surrounding the haunted treehouse, an ancient structure that loomed ominously at the top of a hill. They had ventured to the outskirts of the small town where branches twisted like skeletal fingers and mist curled in swirling eddies around their legs. For years, stories had circulated about the haunted treehouse that had supposedly been the site of a terrible tragedy, a tale of sorrow and malevolence involving a long-forgotten family that had mysteriously vanished. "Seriously, guys, I'm not ready for this," Travis said, his voice trembling as they reached the base of the tree. The treehouse, perched high in the branches, looked as if it might topple at any moment, but somehow remained steadfast. "What if we see a ghost? I can't handle ghost stuff or spiders. Did I mention how much I hate spiders? What if there's a spider ghost?" Laura smirked, pushing her glasses up the bridge of her nose. "Come on, it's just make-believe. Right, Dustin?" Dustin threw a glance over his shoulder towards the darkened path behind them. "Yeah, but what if it's not? I mean, what if we really see something? Something supernatural?" Dan, who had been relatively quiet, suddenly perked up. "Did you all bring your phones?" "Of course, but there's no service out here. It's a no-internet zone," Travis replied dramatically with a flourish. "A ghost zone." As the group exchanged nervous chuckles, they began their ascent up the rickety ladder leading to the treehouse. Each step creaked and groaned under their weight, as if the wooden rungs were protesting their intrusion. At the top, they were met with a musty odour and a view of the woodland that was both enchanting and eerily ominous. Dark shadows seemed to dance in the corners of their vision, and a few battered jack-o'-lanterns, abandoned and rotting, stared back at them with crooked grins and jagged, toothy smiles. "Perfect spot for a ghostly meeting," Laura quipped, eyeing a stack of dusty old books piled haphazardly in the corner. They were covered in cobwebs, each strand catching the moonlight like silvery strands of fate. "What do you reckon these are?" Dustin asked, reaching for the top volume. "Probably the manuals for summoning zombies," Travis quipped, clearing imaginary cobwebs from his face. But before Dustin could respond, a soft moan echoed through the air, causing them all to stiffen. It was barely audible, like the whisper of forgotten souls. "Did you hear that?" Dan's eyes widened, and he glanced around the darkened room as if expecting a spectre to materialize before them. "It's just the wind, right?" Laura said, her voice shaky as she tried to convince herself. "Just the wind." "Right, totally. The wind," echoed Travis, his bravado waning. Suddenly, a shadow flickered past the window of the treehouse, causing everyone to jump. They huddled closer together, not quite sure what they had just seen. The tension in the air thickened, and even the distant hooting of an owl seemed ominous. Brian, a newcomer to their group who had tagged along for the thrill, peered out through a crack in the wood. The shadows outside appeared to swirl momentarily before settling into a more defined shape. Guys, I think I see something. Something big." "What do you mean, big?" Rohald asked, pushing past Brian. "Do you see an actual ghost?" As the friends anxiously gathered around, expecting apparitions of ghastly figures rising through the mist, the figure outside finally came into view. A large shape emerged from the thick fog, dark, hulking with saggy, tattered wings flapping lazily. It was an enormous bat, perhaps the biggest any of them had ever seen, swooping in and out of the treetops. "Are we seriously scared of a bat?" Dustin laughed nervously, trying to ease the tension. "Not just any bat. That's a ghost bat. It's the spirit of a vampire who never got the chance to drink his midnight milkshake. Brian engaged, gesturing wildly as everyone rolled their eyes in tandem. Great, now we're haunted by milkshake ghosts. What next? Like a spider ghost? Travis's voice squeaked in a precarious pitch. Just then, in a cacophony of creaks and groans, the treehouse seemed to shudder. A gust of wind burst through the cracks, sending shivers down their spines. As if on cue, a shimmering figure appeared beside the windows, dressed in sepulchral style, a ghostly visage in tattered rags, holding an internet connection banner suspended over its head like a twisted sign. "Beware, internet eaters," it intoned in a rasping yet melodious voice, drifting closer. "Internet eater, what? No! Please, not the internet, no!" Travis shrieked dramatically, clutching his phone like a lifeline. "Not the internet! Stay back!" Dan yelled, brandishing a flashlight as if it were a sword, ready to defend his digital haven. But the encounter took a surprising turn. The ghost floated closer, a bemused expression emerging through its ethereal form. "Wait, is that what you're worried about? No need for fear, my young friends. I come not take your internet, but to give you special treats for Halloween, a trick-or-treat for your troubles." The gang blinked in confusion, the panic quickly morphing into bewilderment as an assortment of candy rained down upon them, miniature chocolates, gummy spiders, and brightly wrapped treats. "What? This isn't terrifying at all!" Travis exclaimed, his terror dissolving into excitement. "You're like the best ghost ever," Rohold grinned, grabbing a handful of sweets. "Enough! Indeed, I am the candy ghost, sworn to lighten spirits this Halloween. I just wanted to see some living faces in my haunted abode." With a whimsical twirl, the ghost threw a handful of pumpkin-shaped candies into the air, which spun and zoomed like shooting stars. Within moments, their apprehension dissolved amidst laughter and joyous shouts. Gone were the fears of ghosts and spiders. Instead, they joined the entity, tossing candy in playful abandon. As the laughter rang through the treehouse, Dan caught the ghost winking as it hovered over a floating jack-o'-lantern with crooked teeth. "You see, it's not about the fear you have. It's the joy of embracing the unknown," the candy ghost proclaimed, its translucent figure softening until it shimmered and faded into the starry sky. With sugary treasures scattered around them and their hearts lightened, the friends stumbled down from the treehouse, arms laden with goodies and thunderous laughter erupting into the cool night air. "Next Halloween, I'm bringing a bigger bag," Brian declared triumphantly. "I think we broke the curse of the haunted treehouse." Laura grinned, tossing a gummy bat at Travis, who squealed and shoved it back. "Best Halloween ever," Dustin cheered. As they made their way down the hill, through the trees sprouting with cobwebs and crooked jack-o'-lanterns, grinning wildly, a resolute conclusion lingered in the air. Fear could warp into something delightful if met with laughter and an open heart. And just like that, the haunted house story became their happiest Halloween tale, a rollicking adventure forever remembered and shared around future campfires.